Hey, this is Zev Gotkin from Zev Content Marketing. Today I want to talk about 5 ways that you can get paid what you're worth. So I'm a content marketing freelancer. I've been doing it for 4 years. I've been doing social media marketing, content marketing, and for the past year, for a little over a year, I've had a sustainable freelance business where I've been helping people create content, blogging, email newsletters, and social media. And over the course of the time I've been doing this, I've learned a few things about how to get paid what you're worth. So first of all, a lot of people like to complain that they're underpaid, that they're not getting paid what they're worth. So first of all, I want to address that, and I want to say that you're never paid what you're worth. You only get paid what you can negotiate. The next thing is I want to share with you 5 tips about how to negotiate so that you do get paid what you're worth. The first one is have set fees, establish set fees. You know, this is the difference between being like Saks Fifth Avenue, where people go in and they see crazy price tags and they don't complain, they just pay up, and being like some guy in the shuk, the bazaar, the marketplace, who's like trying to get people to buy their wares, and you know, you haggle. If you want to be in the first category, then you have to be like a professional, legit business and have set prices. Now and you have to stick to your prices. You have to have the nerve to stick to those prices. Now I'm not saying you can't be flexible. Obviously it's called negotiation for a reason. You can, but have in mind in advance what the lowest you would come down to, the lowest number you're willing to do the work for. And have a number, or at least a range, a figure, a range of prices ready on hand when someone asks you what you charge. Because if you say, well, I'll have to get back to you, I have to think of it, I'll have to think of a quote, it looks like you're trying to rip somebody off. It looks like you're trying to figure out how much you can get out of them. And having set prices will make you look more legit, more professional, and people will realize that people won't think that they can take advantage of you and you know, move you to a different price. If you start out with at least a baseline number from which you can begin the negotiation, that you set the tone. And that's very important in negotiation. You need to set the tone, set the terms, and steer the negotiation. Don't let the prospect do it for you. You got to stay in the driver's seat. The next tip, put it in writing. If you cannot put it in writing, then then you shouldn't be in business. You have to be able to lay out your terms and conditions, the mutual obligations and expectations for both parties. It allows you to move on amicably if it doesn't work out. It allows you to protect yourself. And if you move forward without a contract, you proceed at your own peril, and you're leaving yourself open to get screwed over. Heard a lot of freelance horror stories. I have a few of my own. Almost every freelancer does. And I know in the beginning you're a little nervous. You don't want to scare off a prospect. You want to show there's trust. You don't want to scare them off. But somebody who wouldn't work with you because you want them to sign a contract is someone you don't want to work with. Trust me. And also, it's just the way business is done. You look like a more legitimate professional. And you're protecting yourself. You're also protecting the client. Because the client, I think a lot of people would be more hesitant to do business with a freelancer or a contractor without a contract than someone who has one. If you don't have a contract, it leaves open a lot of problems, and anyone who's like serious and wants to really work in a professional manner will want you to have a contract. The third thing, get paid up front, or do it depends maybe what your industry is. Maybe you have to do a non-refundable deposit, or maybe you have to get paid partially in stages, but don't proceed without getting paid or having a mechanism by which you get paid. Don't leave it up to chance. If when you go to a store and you buy an item or you order an item online, you don't say, well, I'll take it home and then I'll pay if I decide I like it. No, you pay and then you get it. You don't say I'll pay only if once I get it home and determine whether or not you're gonna pay or not. No, you have to pay. Or certain other situations like a restaurant, even after you've eaten your food, even if you didn't like it, even if the service sucked and the food sucked, you still have to pay. So don't leave yourself in a position where someone might use your time, use your energy, use your skills, your brain, and then your labor, and then they walk out without paying. Don't leave yourself open to that. Make sure you get all, if possible, or at least partial up front. The fourth tip, try to say yes as much as possible. Even though I said yes, you have to have set prices and you have to steer the negotiations. Try to compromise when appropriate. Assure yes leads to sales, it leads to relationships. Assure the prospect that yes, you can do. If they have a question, people like to hear yes. They don't want to hear, well, maybe, no. They want to hear yes. So try to say yes as much as possible. Reassure them that you can do the work, that you can fulfill their needs, that the work is doable. But obviously, don't promise more than you can deliver, and don't promise more than you feel comfortable with doing at that price point. But try to say yes wherever you can say yes. The fifth and final tip that I want to share with you today is publish. Yes, I'm a content marketer, so obviously I believe in publishing, but I recommend it for anybody, and this is true. All of these are applicable, by the way, if you're a freelancer or even if you're not a freelancer. We all have to negotiate. Sometimes we all have to negotiate a salary. So you have to negotiate when you're getting an apartment, maybe with the landlord. Anyway, I recommend publishing. Publish a vlog like I'm doing right now, or a blog or a podcast. Publish things that demonstrate expertise and thought leadership, and also try to publish in third-party authoritative news sources like Huffington Post or Entrepreneur Magazine or Inc. Magazine or whatever the case may be. This looks impressive to prospects, to leads, and if people see that you have some third-party credibility, it will make them more likely to be receptive and accept your asking price. So those are the 5 tips. In short, it was have set prices, put it in writing, have a contract. The third one was get paid up front, say yes whenever possible, and publish. So publish content. So that's where I'm going to leave you today. I hope these 5 tips were helpful. I hope that you can use them. If you have any other suggestions for negotiation tips or how to get paid what you're worth, please feel free to share them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a lot more awesome tips like this to share with you. Have an awesome rest of the day.